Cody Mauch was the Bucs' second-round pick, and he had an up and down preseason. These are the clips I have pulled for this video, and you can see it's a pretty even split of good and bad. He flashed the ability to make impact run blocks that lead to explosive plays, and for the most part, he was solid in pass pro, but his pad level and hand placement are going to have to improve. As a prospect, Cody Mauch was a dominant run blocker. Coming out of North Dakota State, he could just bully the level of competition he was facing. He's an elite athlete, so they would just get him downfield and let him hunt linebackers at the second level. And the best way to take advantage of a skill set like that is by getting him out on the move as a puller or by running outside zone. Last season, the Bucs had the 4th lowest outside zone usage rate in the NFL, but if the preseason's any indicator, I expect them to run outside zone a lot more often this year. In outside zone, you'll see what's called an overtake combo, which makes it easier to pull off reach blocks when you're out leveraged. So right here, Cody Mauch's trying to reach this nose tackle, and Hainsey needs to climb to the second level to block the mic. But if they just made a direct path towards their blocking assignments, Cody Mauch would have to make up an entire gap of distance just to be on a level playing field, and then he'd still have to win the block one-on-one. Now, he has the athletic traits to pull off difficult reach blocks, but ideally you want to make everyone's job as easy as possible. So on an overtake combo, the front side blocker gives a shove or a stiff arm to slow down the defender and raise his pad level, which gives Mauch on the backside an opening to cross his face. Here's another overtake combo. He kind of goes helmet to helmet here at first, but great job after the initial contact of getting his head across the midline, so he's working towards the play side shoulder. And a key point here, which you'll see later, he needs to work on doing this consistently, but he gets the inside hand right underneath the armpit, so if the defender tries to backdoor this block, he can put up resistance while still sealing off the outside. And then once he establishes position, he stays attached and moves him downfield. So I think even as a rookie, you can create explosive plays running behind Cody Mauch, but if he doesn't improve his play strength and become more consistent with his technique, that's going to be offset by the blown blocks that result in negative plays. Right here, the Bucs are running outside zone strong against an over front, which means the 3 techniques on the strong side and the nose tackle is shaded weak. Ideally, you want to run outside zone towards what people call the B-gap bubble, where this gap between the guard and tackle is uncovered, because if the center and guard can win this overtake, the back has a wide open lane downhill. But if you're running at the 3 technique, this man reach from the play side guard is the most important block, and if he doesn't win, the play probably isn't going anywhere. And you can see the 3 tech's able to create knockback with his punch and stand up the block, so instead of having to flow with the run, he drives Cody Mauch backwards. His play side hand's free to make the tackle if the running back bends it outside, and he's getting displacement upfield, so the back doesn't have time to be patient and look for cutback lanes. Cody Mauch's biggest issue on this play is that he loads up for the punch by lowering and widening out his hands. The #1 indicator for who's going to win a one-on-one is which player establishes first meaningful contact, and this windup causes Cody Mauch to be late with his punch, and from that moment he's in recovery mode and the defender has control of the interaction. He's also too wide with his hands here. Instead of striking quickly and getting his hands inside, there's a long windup and he sort of bear hugs the defender, so his frame is exposed for the D tackle to establish contact, and when Mauch does land his punch, his hands are outside on the shoulder pads, which doesn't give him much control. This is another very similar example. He's got a man reach on the 3 tech, and just watch the difference between Mauch and the D tackle when they're landing their punch. 72 is proactive striking with his hands inside, and he punches vertically to raise them up and establish a leverage advantage, but Mauch doesn't have any force behind his punch. He tries to catch the block instead of driving into it, and he doesn't get his helmet across the midline, so the defender has easy access upfield through the play side gap. If you're enjoying the video, make sure to subscribe and leave a like, and also follow us on all of our social medias. The links to those are in the description. He also had some issues cutting off slants on overtake combos. Right here, Robert Hainsey tries to pass off the nose tackle, but Keanu Benton swims over the top, gets upfield, and uses his outside hand to close off the blocking angle. The running back's reading front side to backside, but by the time he decides to cut back, he's got a defensive tackle right in his face and no room to work with. This is a really difficult reach block, and you'd like to see a better pass off from the center, but you can't allow backfield penetration on outside zone. This play is almost identical. Keanu Benton swims over the center, and Mauch isn't able to cross his face, so he gets into the backfield and the ball carrier has to cut back into traffic. I'm pretty sure Luke Gadecki needs to be reaching the 4-eye here. He's blocking this like they're running to his side, and that creates a little hesitation for Cody Mauch, so he's late getting to his assignment. On this play, Keanu Benton's clearly slanting into the A-gap. Mauch does a good job crossing his face, but he opens up and runs parallel with the line of scrimmage instead of being square with the block, and Benton's able to hook underneath with the inside arm and undercut him. His pass blocking coming out of North Dakota State was almost a complete unknown. It's one of the run-heaviest offenses in college football, and when they did pass, it was a lot of play-action bootlegs where they're moving the pocket, keeping the O-line from having to take traditional pass sets. And then on top of that, it's such a low level of competition that the small handful of true dropbacks that we saw are really difficult to evaluate. Any player Cody Mauch goes up against in the fourth quarter of a preseason game would have been the best pass rusher he faced in his college career. In the preseason, he allowed 4 pressures and a sack on 54 pass blocking snaps, and he had a 74.6 pass blocking grade. And I still have concerns about hand placement. Just like his run blocking, he has a tendency to punch wide, but he moves his feet really well for a guard, and I don't think he's destined to be in the good run blocker, bad pass blocker archetype. I actually like his upside there as long as he isn't playing tackle. His sack came on a play action. You see the recurring issue where he's passive establishing contact, and DeMarvin Leal's able to uproot the inside shoulder and split through to the quarterback. But it does seem like Mauch was expecting more help from the center inside. He pushes Leal initially, but then he stops getting depth. And once again, the exact same thing happens here. Mauch gives a weak punch, Leal has an opening through the A-gap, and Hainsey doesn't get over in time to give inside help. So it wouldn't surprise me if Cody Mauch struggles as a rookie. I do think he's a player that's going to have a noticeable learning curve as he adjusts to the size and speed of the NFL. He still has incredible upside, but his technique and play strength are going to have to catch up to his athleticism. And I would have loved to see him in between Wirfs and Jensen for his rookie year, but with Jensen's injury and Wirfs moving to left tackle, there isn't much veteran help on his side. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, let me know in the comments any NFL players or teams that you'd like me to cover.